Hello, favorite people. It's your favorite Gabriella Me, and this is a Young Minds Corner podcast. Welcome to another insightful, reconstructive, mindset shift. It's a conversation that we really do not shed light upon, or we don't talk about as loud as we should as young adults and figuring life out in general. And today, myself and you will be having this conversation. And before we proceed, I really just want to say a very big thank you to everyone who supported the series. The last episode, who reached out to me and said, "Oh, Biola, thank you for this. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for saying that, okay, people are listening." And everyone I gave a shout out came to my DM and like, hi, we saw what you did, thank you. Really excited because I'm seeing the back and forth of the energy, and of course I love it. This particular episode one, the graphics said a lot of things about the episode. The graphics say so much. I'm saying this because of course the graphics have been made before I am recording this, so yes. The graphic saying a lot about this particular episode, and this particular episode is from my heart. It's from my heart to you, my favorite person in the world. So let me start by saying that to everyone who is building something, to everyone who is building a career, who is building a name, who is building a business, who is building anything. You're trying to grow in your relationship with God, you're trying to build a business, your relationship with people, or just basically trying to figure life out. This is me saying that you're doing amazing, and I am rooting for you, honestly. Every young adult at a point in their life needs solitude, and for you to actually find God, there is a pattern, or there is a force of separation. There is this phase of separation that must happen in your life, all right? And we live in a very fast-paced world, right, where everybody is about demand and supply. You are always demanding from yourself, your life, your family, everyone around you. But before we proceed, I just want you to pause. And I want to ask this personal question. You can actually go back to reflect. You can pen it down and maybe ask yourself later. One, when was the last time you had a walk, a solo walk with yourself, without distraction, without people, without your phone, without anything distracting you, just you, yourself, and you? Yeah. When was the last time you had that kind of conversation? When was the last time you sat down in stillness just to listen to the voice of the inner spirit in you? When was the last time you had a good conversation with God? I'm not saying, doing all those shada baba baba, and we are going to get to that part, but before we get to that part, when was the last time you actually sat down with God and listened to the stillness of your environment? When was the last time you listen to what is happening in your inner spirit? When was the last time you listened to your body? Because as I said earlier, we live in a community, in a world, in a society where everyone is demanding. You are always demanding strength, you're always demanding wisdom, demanding a lot of things from your body, your mind, and your soul, and your spirit, without actually sitting to listen. And that is why today I want us to talk about building, and not just building alone, building in solitude. I wouldn't want to make this particular episode about me, but there are little things I would like to share that are quite personal and very spectacular to me. So you have to indulge me, right? And what's the point of a conversation with Biola Me? What without you getting a little bit of icing about Biola Me's life? All right, I made a decision. I think some of the series we had, I've mentioned, I made this decision without actually saying it. But I made a decision, and I have been seeing myself go through a lot. So in this particular episode, we are going to be talking about the battles, the blessings, and some of my personal experiences experiences, and also the lessons from building in solitude, and also way forward when you're building in solitude. So I'll first of all start with personal. Of course, I've said that already. So yes, as I was saying, I made a particular decision to take a bold step in my life, and recently I've just been sitting down looking at myself and be like, okay, am I sure? Is this really the decision I'm supposed to make right now? Or how is it going for me? Why is it going this way? Or maybe I made the wrong decision. And also, as I continually think about that, I also have other times in my life where I am like, presently, where I'm like, okay, I think I made the right decision. Okay, I think I'm building something. Okay, I think I'm building something great. So how did this topic came about? I think few weeks ago, I was in a conversation with the Holy Spirit, and I was like, God, okay, what kind of topic do you expect that I bring when, okay, last month was community building. I was really just excited for my community and all. Now, what do we want to talk about? And it just dropped in me, building in solitude. Look at your life, like take a inner view of your life, your personal life, and just view it. And like it just dropped, building in solitude. I have seen Biolami. Now I'm talking as the third party who is viewing Biolami's life. I have seen Biolami go through things, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl is going through not so much a lot, but a lot. And that have actually been the roller coaster of my life, and I am also in that season of building in a solitude manner. So yes, what is solitude? Because now it's like, okay, what's solitude? What's Biolami saying? What's this big English and all those stuff? But yeah, solitude. I know when we hear solitude, the first thing that actually comes to mind is isolation or being alone and all the stuff. And I get that, but at the same time, solitude is intentional. Solitude is empowering. It's not just you isolating or separating yourself, but like you are intentionally doing that to empower yourself. You are separating yourself to empower yourself, not just because you just want to like, I want to do come back. You know all those comeback things they used to do those days where they'll say, I'm going off for a bit and my comeback is going to be bad. That all those kind of things. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you isolating yourself. I don't want to use the word isolating, but like you separating yourself to empower yourself. Yes, that is what solitude actually means. That is the meaning. I of course, when you check online, there will be different meaning. It means you being alone. That is not what we want to stick with. What we're sticking with for the purpose of this particular episode is solitude is the intentional act of separation to be empowered. What did I say? The intentional act of separation to be empowered. And as much as we want to like carry isolation as well, but isolation, I feel isolation is draining. When we hear isolation is like a big word, and no one is an island. As much as we all want to build in solitude, no one is an island. And we are going to get to that part where we talk about that, balancing both you building in solitude and also holding on to relationship. All right, I've seen myself try to build something, and the only time I feel like I believe in myself is when I actually pay the attention to say, okay, yes, I'm going to do this by myself, for myself. And after everything, I'll find out that, okay, yes, I think gradually, by experience, I start to believe in myself. And by experience, I start to learn to believe in my voice. Of course, it's not every time, even some of these days, it's not every time I find myself, I believe in speaking out. Okay, so I was at an event recently, and I was meeting with somebody and I was just talking with the person, and the lady told me that, are you on TikTok or any social media platform? I said yes, but not actively. She's like, you sound so great. And it took me a while before I could believe or trust my voice. I think trust is the right word. Before I could trust in my voice for podcasting, for content creation, for every other thing I find myself doing. It took me a while. It took me a particular level of separation. And as young adults, as young people, we all are building one thing or the other at different facets, at different points of our lives. And we might not even get to talk about these things, but at the same time, we all know that there is a personal battle. Let me just call it like that. It's a personal battle we are all fighting. And talking about battles, there are some battles that you have to fight with people. I have known myself as, even while I was in school, I remember, now I'm talking about battles now. I've always been the lone wolf. I've always been the only lady. Like, I like to do my things by myself. I can just think about it and like, okay, yes, I'm going to do this thing. I have friends, yes, and I appreciate every of my friends, but okay, now let me just say this. I am trying as much as possible not to overshare as much as I want to share in this particular episode, right? Recently, through the leading of the Holy Spirit, I had a dream, and in the dream, I woke up with a very stern, confirmed instruction to call an old-time friend, my very old school friend. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to call her. Some stuff happened and I wasn't able to call her that day. When I got home the next evening, I was like, okay, I'm going to call this person. I picked up my phone and I called her and I'm like, hi. And she was like, Viola, why are you calling me? What's going on? And in my mind, I'm like, yes, I'm the bad friend. Yes. I shared every instruction I got for her as well. I did, and I shared everything, and we talked and we spoke and we prayed together. I was supposed to say, oh, bye, good night, and that's it. But as the conversation was rounding off, this lady said, okay, Viola, I actually want to tell you something. I think I should say it because I've had it in mind to speak with you about this. Viola, while we were in school, I felt this way while I was in school. What way? She said, according to her, she was like, she saw me being available for them, but I never positioned myself in a way they can be available for me. She remembered there was a particular time she came to me with a particular problem, and she saw the look on my face trying to solve all the problem of the universe. But there was a time after a particular event I did in school, and we went together. I called like them, my clique. I believe that they're my clique because that is how I am wired. I have friends, but at the same time, my inner this and my inner this, I'm building is inside of me. It's not going to come outside. I'm sorry. And sometimes I even feel like I overshare sometimes, but that is not the question of today. Maybe I overshare with you my personal person, my favorite person in the world. But like when it comes to like my people that I see physically, I don't think I share as much. But yeah, I digress. So let me go back to the conversation. So as I was saying, she was like, oh, while we were talking to that, so there was this DVC at the time. We went to visit her. I went with my friend because the woman helped with programming of Ladies Vault at the time when I was in school. So we went together. I called them, okay, please, let's go together. We went together to greet this woman, and we were having a conversation. We were talking, and this woman asked me like some very deep conversation. Because I didn't want to be quiet because he was an elderly person, and I saw the look on the woman's face. She was really genuinely wanting to get to know me. I said the things that usually I wouldn't say in the midst of my friends. I'm getting somewhere, please just go with me. Just follow me, okay? According to my friend, when we spoke recently, she was hearing things that she had never heard before from me, talking to that woman. and it really, really hurt her and made her really drift apart. And I was like, oh, obviously, I actually noticed this, but I felt like, oh, everybody's also building like I'm building. So everybody's busy with their lives. And I feel like this is one of the mistakes we make as people who are trying to build, or people who are used to solitude. And as much as we are trying to like build, be separated, don't forget the place of people. But I'm getting to that pace. Let me go back to the conversation, right? Like I had there are some set of friends I share my personal life with, and I do not share with them, and like there's a kind of barricade between us. That it's true that people identify us as friends, but like they do not know me. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I felt like, oh, I was just building something in my head, because there's some things I would just come outside and do while I was in school, and even now that I am out of the uni, I would just do, and people would just wonder, when did you even think about this? After I had this conversation with this lady, I just look up and I'm like, God, I never imagined that I was like this. I knew that to some extent I was not sharing, because of course, like I'm not the person who talks so much with people, or allow people get into my box to know what exactly is wrong with me or something. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I never thought I was this bad. That is just one of the battles or struggles associated with building in solitude. You sometimes forget that you have people around you, and people like it will just honestly reflect in people, because they would look at you and be like, okay, I don't think this person is sharing. Just imagine your friend. And funny thing is that I actually usually feel like this as well. Like I feel this way when I am sharing with somebody and the person is not sharing with me. Now imagine that I'm actually the one doing this thing. But yeah, I have learned in retrospect that no, it's not done that way. There are some kind of relationship I was supposed to have held on to or invested more in while I was in school that I didn't invest more in, because I was building in solitude. Solitude is the best thing that can ever happen to you. At the same time, you need to strike the balance. And number 2, and struggles that we face when we are building in solitude. Have you ever been in a conversation? I think I said this earlier in the conversation, that sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing the right thing. Yes, when you are building in solitude, you doubt yourself like 1 million times in an hour. You overthink everything that is happening around you. I call myself an overthinker, but I'm rebuking that spirit of overthinking in me, because I just want to be doing things now. I don't want to think about them. Duh. But back to the conversation. One of the things, the battles or the struggles as young adults we face when we are building a career. Imagine you're building a career and you are like doing something big. You're doing something great for yourself, just by yourself, only you, me, myself, and I, as we jokingly always say. There are some times you are like, okay, I don't think I'm doing the right thing. I don't know. Let just Jesus take the wheel and let him carry us and be going, because I don't know. And it's just really a lot. Personally, I've been in that space. I've been in that space of self-doubt. I'm like, okay, am I sure? Am I sure? Okay. Even if I'm not sure, I'm here already. We figure it out. And yes, I have this consciousness of God in my head, and I feel like you should also pick it as one of your mantra, or like a watchword you go your life with as you continue in this journey of solitude, is that even if I am in the wrong space, God is here and he can never mismanage my life. He will always find me into the right space. I don't know, I just have this consciousness in my mind that even if when I feel like, okay, I'm making a mistake, I'm like, even in my mistake, my life in God is in God's hand. He can never mismanage my life. Never. He can never ever mismanage my life. It's in his hand. is in his hands. My life is in God's hands. So I would always find my way back to the right point, right? That is one. Number two is lack of emotional support. And as much as I want to say, okay, yes, I support this, sometimes you are really weary, there's nobody to share what is going on with your life with, because of you are trying to build, and maybe most of your family members or like your circle mates are not in the same phase or the same page with you. Everybody's running their own race and this and this and this. At the same time, I'm like, as much as we want to build in solitude, be open to help. Be open to allow people help you. And these are actually some of the problems we actually face when we are building something in solitude. Emotional support. You might not find it. It's not every time you want to cry on someone's shoulder you'll find it, because it's not everybody that is on the same page with you. Imagine you are trying to build a tech. Let me use tech as an example. You're trying to like build a code and something, but like it is just you in your circle who is building the tech, the code you are trying to build, and your code crashed, and you are in a bad place. You are you're angry, you're upset, you are weary, but it's just you and your code facing yourself, wondering. They do not understand what's going on because they do not get you. You are in your own bubble. You are in your own bubble. Like, they don't understand what's going on with your life. And as much as that is also a relevant thing, I'm going to bring a balance to that. We need people. As much as we are building in solitude, we need people. We need people that it's not everything that's going on around me I can share with my dad. There's some set of friends that I can tell. There's some set of friends that I can tell maybe 2%. There's some kind of things that will happen to me that I can't even tell my family that I have to tell my friends. So yes, you need that category. So like at this point I would say categorize your relationship. So when you are even building in solitude, you know that there are some people that actually got your back regardless. Number 3, and the most interesting one or the most practical one, I would say, is financial stress when you are building in solitude. My dear, you are going to take your life seriously when you are building in solitude, because you have to think about everything. They will not be stressed financially in Jesus' name. Can I get an amen? Amen. Because money answers a lot of things. Virtually most of the things that happen in the life of young adults in this age and time. Just imagine that you do not have help, or like you are trying to build something by yourself. It's going to be telling so much on your expression, physically, emotionally. It's going to be telling on yourself, your being, and all. And it's getting interesting as we go down. So this is number 3, and I'm going to get to number 4, the most interesting parts that I would a little bit dwell upon little. Alright, so back to financial stress. You'll be experiencing a lot of emotional turmoil. Just I think it was in the Let's Talk Money episode, I was saying that anytime you don't have money, there's this palpitation that comes with don't having money. My dear, that palpitation is real. Because imagine that you invested all of your money in getting like material to... I am also into fashion, so I can use that. Imagine that, okay, I put all of my money into buying materials for a particular collection. And after prepping, designing, bringing out the best in design, nobody came to buy designs. The designs didn't do so well. Do you know the kind of emotional, financial stress I'll be going through in my head? That will be going, even if I have like, okay, my physical needs are met and all those things are all done, but my mind will constantly be thinking about the money that I kept and disappeared. Jesus, may we not have heart attack in the name of Jesus. Amen. So as much as we are building in solitude, these are some of the struggles I have experienced. If you listen to me carefully, you know that I'm talking from the place of experience, right? Some of the things that I've experienced, and it's a lot. Number 4, which is the most rampant one, but we do not talk about it as much, is when you are building in solitude, you are quiet. You are in your quiet season, alone season, but you would not stop comparing yourself to others. And I want you to stop that act right now. Okay? Stop that act right now. As much as we are human, of course, our flesh would always come and scream. Just imagine that, okay, you finish school and you had like maybe friends that you all finished together. Some of them are working in banking sector, some of them are in media, some of them are in hospitality, some of them are in different facets. And for you found yourself learning a new skill. Maybe the skill is not paying you just yet. You're still a newbie. Of course, it's a new skill, so yes, you're still a newbie. So you're not actively doing anything great yet. Yes, that's just a word. You're not actively doing something public yet. And most of your friends are doing great already. Like they are in their speaking season or loud season. Yes, that's the word. They are in their loud season. I don't want to know how you want to say it or how you want to be, but as a young adult, the thoughts would cross your mind one way or the other and make you think, God, why? You might not necessarily compare yourself with them, but you would question God and say, God, what's going on? Why me? What's going on? Excuse me, sir. Hello. Why is my life like this when Adiola's life is like this? You know that, okay, why is my life like this when Adiola's life, there is already a comparison why you are trying to question God. So yes, you would definitely compare yourself, and it's part of those battles that comes with building in solitude. And as much as I'm identifying these struggles, I want you to identify them as well in your life and pick on maybe any comparison that you're doing. Remember that I said there's a quiet season and there's a loud season. So just imagine that it's a phase that both of you are going through. Maybe Adeola is in a loud season and you are in your quiet season. So yes, there is a season for everybody. Okay, so now let's move on. As we are talking about season, let's move on the advantages, the most exciting part of this conversation, the advantages or the blessings, that comes with building in solitude. One, there is this assurance and clarity that comes with you are doing it by yourself and God. And that's one of the things I actually wanted to find myself do when I made this decision. I'm like, okay, hello everybody, I'm doing this and I'm doing it, and that's on period. Like, God is here. So yes, I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine. I just want to deeply understand and have the assurance of God, of trusting God, right? I want to have that clarity of, yes, I'm doing this as far as God is here. And as far as you have done it and you were successful or you learned lesson, you see, even if, okay, let me take it like this. You are trying to do something. You are trying to build in solitude. You are building a career, you're building a relationship, you're doing everything, and you're doing it by yourself. One of the greatest advantages you can have is clarity. And do you know the bliss that comes with you saying something from the place of experience, the place of clarity, the place of assurance that, this one, I know it. Even if it is it's not like a success, like the basic kind of success that you know that is evident. Oh, maybe you are successful in this business, or like you're doing this, you're doing that. Even if it's the process, do you know what it takes to go through a process? Yeah. The kind of assurance that comes when you talk about that process is what we are talking about. That clarity, that deeper self-awareness of who you are. When we started this conversation, I was saying that we don't pay attention to our body, but just imagine that, okay, you've to some extent built in solitude and you understand yourself. I'm trying to use the body as an example now. When you're building in solitude and you already understand your body system, when your tummy or you have headache all of a sudden at 2 a.m. because over the years you've understood your body system, you know that something is wrong somewhere. Or let's use spirituality as an example, spiritual things. Or all of a sudden you've built in solitude, you've grown your spiritual self to some extent. When all of a sudden you wake up at 2 a.m. in the midnight, you know that something is wrong somewhere. Something has to be done. Okay, it's time for me to pray. It's time for me to sing. Because you've journeyed by yourself. You've understood by yourself. And I know that they say that we should always learn by people's mistakes and learn by people's experience. But there are some experience that nobody's experience can teach you, or no one's experience can enlighten you except you experience that experience. And I'm very serious. That is number one. And I'm really, really excited that I'm able to say this. Number two is stronger faith and resilience. Because you are built alone, because of you have built this thing, you've built yourself, you've built the career, you've built your faith, you've built the relationship, you've learned to do those things by yourself. You have this resilience that no matter what is happening ahead, if you did it before, you will do it again. You know that song? That's the song. Because you've gone through it before, you can pull through it again. Abiola, can you hear that? You've gone through it before, you can go through it again. And excellently, you will do. Alright? Number three is you learn to trust your spirit man. And in this phase, I'm going to be talking church. You are going to trust your spirit man so much, because when you are building in solitude, it's just you and God. It's just you and God. Like, it is just you and God. So when you are depending on somebody, as time goes on, regardless of the regardless, there is an assurance that comes that makes you trust that person and say, no matter God got me. God just got me. And when I find myself in a mistake, it is just a means to an end. Yes, that's it. It's a means to an end. God is coming. God is right there. It's in the corner. It's in the story. The mistake, a means to an end. And God will always fine-tune me to where He wants me to be. And that is it. Number 4, you attract the right people into your life over time. One of the greatest mistakes we make as young adults is that we do not know ourselves before. So let me gist you. Recently, I started noticing, like, of course, I found myself in a new circle, so I'm trying to make new friends and all. But I've seen certain kind of people around me, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, you're cool, but I don't think you can enter my circle. Like, I just know that this person, mbano, as my people will say, no, this person is not coming. No, this person is not crossing this bridge into this circle, because I just know the kind of people who would sit in. I know the kind of people who would sit out. I know the kind of people who will be far, who will be at arm's length. And do you get? So you attract the right people over time because you already know yourself. And the problem is that we don't get to understand ourselves before we drag people into our life. So when you are trying to realize yourself, you're not trying to realize another person. But when you've paid attention to you, your spirit man, your soul, and your body, your spirit, very important. there is this knowing that knows that it is just a flare. It will just attract them. And I did not say, okay, there's this word I'm trying to look for, but yeah, you attract these people. You will not start looking for them. You will not start chasing. Chasing is a word. You don't start chasing them. You would attract them into your life, and you just find yourself connected and all. And this solitude is always interesting. And I'm trying to get into like the lessons and gems I've learned over the time, personally. It's a quiet time, yes. It's a quiet season, yes. It's a quiet moment. It's a building season. But it's necessary, because we can never ever underestimate the power of process in our journey to fulfilling. So whether you are in a new community, like, you just traveled abroad, or you just found yourself in a new career, or like in a new society, married, yes, or you just found yourself married, or like you're just in a business, you're just trying to build a business, or what have you. Your root is to the ground, and it's built in silence. And everything you desire would come. But that process is necessary. Everything you desire, everything you're like, oh God, how am I going to do this now? They would actually come, because over time you would attract them. But the roots you need, the wisdom you need, the strength, the capacity you need is built under the ground. Is the roots. When root is growing, you don't hear it, you don't know that, okay, yes, something is happening somewhere. Oh yes, you don't know. But it's until when you now want to cut down that tree, you'll be like, no, there's depth. And also, I want us to know that in every journey that we are going through, in every building that we are doing, is that in any quiet space we can find ourselves, it is not a waste of time. God do not always waste those kind of period. God is using it to create something. God is building and shedding. You look at the graphics very well. There is a shedding that needs to happen, and that shedding will only happen when you are in separation, when you are separated, when you are with Abba. And I do not want you to leave. I do not want you to take with levity this season, this solitude you are in, or whatever, or what have you, or this thing you're building, these experiences. Don't try to hasten it. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to run out of it, because the more you run, the more you find yourself in the circle. You don't outgo God's class. You would definitely pass before you go to the next one. And who doesn't want to pass early? I think I was listening to a podcast recently, and the lady was like, I made good mistakes. I made worse mistakes in my younger age, and I'm grateful for them. So why don't you want to like make all of those, go through the solitude moment now that you are young, now that you are a young adult in the corner enjoying your life? Make it now, build it now, grow it now, because at the end of the tunnel, it's you sharing to help other people who would find themselves in this season as well. And you tell them, I've been there, done that. This one, don't worry, you got this. When you come out like this, you'll be shining. People will be wondering, where have you been since all these days? You just came outside from nowhere. But they will not know that there was a place of solitude you were kept in for years, for months, for weeks, that there was nothing happening on the outside. I never imagined this episode would be this long. I never imagined this conversation would be this long. But I just desire that to speak into your heart, that whatever you are building, it is is for your good, because you're in a worst season, a quiet season, a loud season, building career, building relationship, building your relationship with God, with people, with the business, everything. It is working together for you, right? So yes, we've come to the end of this conversation. But before I let you go, I'd like you to tell me what exactly you are building. Are you in your season of solitude, or you have been in a solitude season? I really want you to tell me about what exactly solitude means to you in the comment section. Make sure to tag the Young Minds Corner podcast on IG, on Instagram, on X platform, on WhatsApp. You can even send it to me as a DM. I don't mind. You can send it under the comment section of this podcast. Just tell me, what exactly are you building? One, what does solitude means to you? What season are you in? I just want to know, because I'm also building something, and I think I've shared most of the things I'm building. And I also want to hear from you as well. Thank you so much for listening to this point. I am really grateful and excited that I have you, my favorite person in the world, to always listen to me. You can follow the Young Minds Corner podcast on all of our social media platforms at the Young Minds Corner _podcast on Instagram, and on the Young Mind Corner _podcast. That's on X platform. And you can follow your favorite baby girl, Biola Me, on all of my social media platforms, BIOLA_MMY on Instagram. And the person that attacked me that I'm not on TikTok, I'm actually on TikTok but not active. So yes, you can follow me on TikTok. Let's get some things done right here. Biola Me, BIOLAMMY 02 on TikTok. X platform is the Biola Me, BIOLAMMY _, and that's on period. You know, I will never end the Young Minds Corner conversation without saying, leave it in God's hand. God can never mismanage your life. Leave it in God's hand. God can never mismanage your life. You are just the one running. Calm down, alright? I love you so much, and yes, keep building, keep the mind young. Remember, you are not alone. We are all in this together. We are all becoming something. In the next 5 years, you'll be telling them, oh, when I was in my 20s. Yeah, right? So yes, we're doing just that. I love you so much. And from me to you, you know, always, it's a bye.